Hey, howdy folks. Today we're going to have the final tally of everything from the equipment throwdown, and the next video clips that you're going to see is the gold that was weighed for each piece of equipment, and then at the end I'm going to come back and I'm going to go over the results bounced against what was provided by Gold Nugget Sales, and then give you my final thoughts on each piece of equipment and how it performs. So let's get to that now. Okay guys, we got this all cleaned up and we're going to do a snuffer dump. And we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to weigh it up. That's a lot of gold. There's your gold. That's pretty. Wow. Pretty. Go ahead and weigh it up and see what we come up with, guys. All dried up. We're going to go ahead and weigh it up, guys. Let's get a little close up. Here's all that beautiful gold. And there's a lot of it. Okay, let's go weigh it up. Okay guys, we're going to weigh this up. This is out of the California Mini High Banker, the one that I use up on the claim. There's a lot in there. A lot of fine stuff, probably 40-50 mesh, but most of it's chunkier stuff. So I don't think I'm going to run it through twice. I'm going to run everything one time. Wow. That's a lot. Let's see, I'm going to put this safety paper here so that when I spill, any guesses on the weight here? And yes, I did spill on the paper. So I have the weights that Mike at Gold Nuggets for Sale says he put in. And he weighed it on 2 different scales. So there's already a variance. So we'll keep that in mind. And there's the drippings. Okay. Let's see what we ended up with. Any guesses, guys? Let's see. Can we see the scale? Yes. Okay. $32.375 grams. $32.375. Okay, 32.380. We're going to record that down for the GeoSluice California Mini High Banker first run. Okay, that's what we have on that. We're going to dump this back in the material now, and we're going to run it through the new Geo High Banker, the green one that you saw. And probably end up doing that tomorrow. It's the gold out of the sluice box. Got a little more cleanup to do on it, and then we're going to go through the panning tailings and dry it up, see what we got. Okay guys, we're going to do a snuffer dump. This is everything out of the Geo Banker. Cleaned up, maybe a little black sand, but not too much. Man, I tell you, that's a challenge. Cleaning that much gold. There it is. Go get a little squirt bottle. Okay, we're going to let this dry and then we'll weigh it up. See how much we got from the Geo Banker. That's a lot of gold. Lot of gold. I got it all out of there. Just go rinse it out real quick. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna pour the water off it, and it's beautiful stuff. Wow, really pops against that blue pan, doesn't it? Wow, holy moly! A bowl of grape nuts. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pour water off and dry this up. We'll be back when it's dried up. Okay guys, here's the final take for the Geo High Banker. This is what we got. 32.87 grams recovered. Not bad. Not bad at all. So let's go ahead and pour this back into the material, and then we're going to run the 4-stage gold cube. So let's get to that right now. Okay guys, we got everything panned out from the gold cube. Going to do a snuffer dump now. That sure is pretty. Go get my baster so I can rinse this out. Okay. That was different. The gold cube captured, it seemed like it captured more fine stuff. And we're going to set this to dry. There's the gold. So this concludes the testing. We're not going to use any other equipment. We're going to end with this one. I'm becoming familiar with the pieces of gold that I've captured in here. I'm beginning to recognize them. Oh, there's that wire piece, and there's that round piece, and it's very pretty. Wow. So we're going to go ahead and dump the water off and let it dry out, and then we'll weigh it up. It's the final weigh for the gold that we recovered from the 4-stage gold cube. So go ahead and show you the final results now, and who did the best and who lost the most. Well, what'd you guys think of that? How about those results, huh? So, quite surprising. So anyways, I'm going to go over now the pros and cons of each piece of equipment as I see it. These are only my opinions. That's all they are. These aren't, they're nothing more. So take it for what it's worth. Take it with a grain of salt. If you guys did these tests, you may come up with the same results, or you may come up with different results. All 3 pieces of equipment captured a lot of gold, and there's pros and cons to each piece of equipment. The test that we did here was on a prepackaged jug of material that was pretty darn clean, and it's not typical to what you would find out here on an Arizona claim, and with that amount of gold either. So the gold that you saw that was recovered is pretty remarkable for each piece of equipment, and there is a clear winner here, and we're going to go over those results with you now. But first we want to go over what I view as the pros and cons of each piece of equipment. So let's do that now. Okay, so here we go, guys. We have the categories here. We have the GeoSluice, California Mini High Banker, the Geo High Banker, and then the 4-stage gold cube. And I have different criteria that I came up with, and you guys might come up with additional ones. So if you do, shoot a comment to me. First thing we're going to go over is setup time. Setup time for the GeoSluice Mini High Banker, very easy to average. I mean, it's more on the easy side. It's all you have to do is get it leveled and the right slope, and you're ready to go. Geo High Banker, same thing, easy to average. All you have to do is level it, set your slope, you're good to go. The 4-stage gold cube, I said it was average. It's a little more difficult than easy because you do have to level. It has to be leveled. It has to be leveled front to back, side to side. And if you're out in an environment in the field trying to use this, it's going to be a little more difficult for you to use. So, next category I said was ease of use, meaning how easy is it to use this piece of equipment. And for the Mini High Banker, the little blue one, I said it was easy as long as the material is clean, like what we ran. It was simple. If you have dirty material like what you see me run on the claim, this doesn't apply. It's more difficult then, because then you introduce organics and mud and all those other factors. The Geo High Banker, same exact thing. As long as the material is clean, runs super, super easy. It will do a better job though at cleaning out organic material like what you see me run at the claim, just because of the spray bar and the size of the hopper. So, but for the material that we ran, all this was based on the material that we ran. So I'm going to say it was easy because the material was clean. The 4-stage gold cube, the ease of use, it's more difficult because the material that you run through this has to be screened down to 1/8 inch, period. If you don't want to lose gold or too much gold, that's what it needs to be. So of the three, this is the most difficult to do because you do have to screen it down. Next category is portability. The GeoSluice Mini High Banker, the little blue one, very portable. Thing only weighs like 9 pounds. The Geo High Banker, a little harder to transport, still pretty lightweight. It's probably 5 pounds, 6 pounds more than the Geo High Banker is. The 4-stage gold cube, same thing, harder to transport. It's heavier than both of these. And you could not backpack that in somewhere or carry it down to a creek easily because you have got the 4 trays, or 3 trays if you run it with 3 trays. Then you've got your pump and your battery and everything else. So next category here, the water requirements. These are running on recirculating the way that we ran them. You do not have to run them on recirculating like we ran them. If you were at a creek, you could just put the pump right in the creek and run them and have fresh water all the time. But for the conditions that we ran, using the water requirements for the little California Mini High Banker, it's low. You can run that generally on 15 to 18 gallons of water. And that will last you, 4 or 5-gallon buckets as long as you have a screen to filter out organics. The Geo High Banker, the water usage, it was medium. It's a bigger machine, takes a little more water, and still really good at recirculating. Nothing wrong with it, it's perfect, but it does require more water. So that if the little one is taking 15 to 18 gallons of water, this is probably taking 20 to 24 gallons. 4-stage gold cube, same thing. It's just a medium as far as the requirements for water goes on a recirculating condition. Use the same amount of water as the Geo High Banker did. And again, if you ran these 3 pieces of equipment right out of the creek, it wouldn't really matter then water requirements because you'd have an unlimited source. The next category was field use, operating under a recirculating condition. Very easy as long as your material is clean like what we ran. If you're in the field that has organics, it's going to be more difficult, and I said it was going to be average. Hope that makes sense. The Geo High Banker, same thing. As long as you have clean material, it's going to be easy to run. Or organics, it's going to be probably easier than the little blue one because of the spray bar that this has, where the little Mini High Banker only has a single bar. This is going to clean the organics out. It's much more aggressive, so it's probably going to do a better job. The gold cube, again, it's easy as long as the material is clean. And you're always going to have the requirement that it has to be screened to 1/8 inch, period. Whether you're in the field or at home running material, okay? Cleanup time, next category. The California Mini High Banker, very fast. You guys have seen me clean this thing up. With a bottle of drinking water, you can clean the entire sluice up, almost. It's just super, super fast. The Geo High Banker, it's more difficult. You need a lot more water to clean it out because the riffles are a lot more aggressive and they're going to contain a lot more material, so in heavies. So You're going to take a lot of water to do that. 4-stage gold cube, it's more difficult, just like the previous one. You're going to need a lot of water. Those trays, if you can snap them in a mortar pan, snap them good to release all your materials, but that doesn't always release the materials. Sometimes you have to work to get some of those trapped pieces of material out of those mats. That's what I've run into using this, which is one of the reasons I don't like using this in the field, because of that reason, because of all these reasons. It's a great piece of equipment if you're running clean material and you're trying to recover the gold at home. Typically, that's what I've found. A lot of guys do use these out in the field, though, and I think they have a trommel set up that goes on top of it, and it will probably screen out everything down to 1/8 inch for you, plus a lot of the organics, but I've never used one of those. I'm only going by the experience that I have using this. Next category is the hopper capacity and the feed rate. The California Mini High Banker, it's a small hopper, and it's best if fed at a steady rate so you don't disrupt the water flow going across the drop riffles. If you interrupt the water going across the drop riffles, you create like waves of water that come and they wash away heavies, including gold and black sand. So it's best if you feed that at a steady rate. The Geo High Banker, the capacity is a medium capacity, so it's quite a bit more than the small one. Holds a lot of material, and again, that one too, it's best if fed at a steady rate. The drop riffles are deeper than the Mini High Banker, but you can still wash gold out if you're feeding that at an inconsistent rate. The 4-stage gold cube, it must be constantly fed at a steady rate, period. It has no hopper, so whatever you decide to put in it with every scoop, whether it be 30 seconds apart or 5 seconds apart or a minute apart, you always have to constantly feed it. There's no hopper to hold your material. It's not a negative, it's just the way the piece of equipment is designed to operate, and it works just fine doing that. The next category is recovery system, meaning what are they using to recover the gold? The California Mini High Banker, it's a shorter sluice box. It uses the drop riffles in the sluice, and the hopper box has no riffles at all. The Geo High Banker, it's a longer sluice box. It's an aggressive drop riffle system in that sluice box. Quite a bit different than the little California Mini High Banker. The hopper also has 2 drop riffles that you guys saw in the video that catches a lot of material. And you can see the gold. If you're on the gold, you can see it immediately right there in that hopper box. So that's a big advantage over the smaller one. The 4-stage gold cube, the recovery system, the first stage is a slick plate. You saw it, how it works. It just kind of spreads the material out, breaks it down to get ready to send it down to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stage. And in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stage, it's rubber matting. It's what comes stock from the factory, and there's reasons why I choose to use it's actually a conveyor belt that they actually use. There's reasons that I choose to use this as opposed to a the Dream Mats. Next category here, the spray bar. The California Mini High Banker has a single slotted spray bar. It does a pretty good job breaking down material. Really does. I've been very happy with it, no complaints. If you have a lot of organics, it's going to have a lot more difficulty, but it still breaks that material down pretty darn good. No complaints. The Geo High Banker, one of the strong points of this machine, along with the aggressive drop riffles, is the 360-degree spray bar with drilled holes that go all around that hopper box that are spraying down. Bad side to this, those holes, if you're running organics, those are going to plug up pretty good. But the manufacturer, they kind of saw that, and there's a T, there's a T with a threaded plug that you can unscrew, and you can flush out the debris out of that. And so I've not actually used this in the field yet. I'm going to take it up to the claim this coming week. We're going to see how it does. So, but that's a big thing, the 360-degree spray bar. Breaks down, it's going to break down organics a lot better than this one. The 4-stage Gold Cube doesn't have a spray bar. It just has a distribution header that is at the front of the slick plate that spreads the material out and sends it down to the second, third, and fourth stage. So those are my thoughts. Each piece of equipment is good in its own standing. I've used this one extensively, the Geo Sluice, the California Mini High Banker, a lot, simply because of water usage and ease of portability and cleanup. Does it lose gold? Sure it does. But for us up there, when we have a very, very limited water supply, it's been really ideal. The Geo High Banker, untested by me. I don't know how it's going to work in the field. I'll be able to tell you more after I do. I have run material here, a bucket of our clay material. Performed beautifully, but the cleanup on this is much more extensive than this one here, and takes a lot longer to clean this one up, and it's going to take more water. So those are the two downsides to this one here. Downsides to the little California Mini High Banker is it's not going to break down organics as well in the hopper box when you're running unsearched material, and it's also going to lose more gold than this one here. Now, how much gold is it going to lose in typical claim dirt that we run? I don't know. I've actually run the tailings of the Geo Sluice through the Gold Cube, and I've only found micro pieces. That's it. So this for the claim has been beautiful. Will it recover any more gold or lose any more gold than this? Don't really know, but I'm going to take them both. I'm going to try them both out this coming week. So both great machines. 4-stage Gold Cube. I like this machine for cleaning up screened cons at home. If I had the trommel attachment to it, that I could take it out in the field, and if I had a greater water supply to use this, I might consider taking this out. But before I would take this out, I would take a trommel. And all great pieces of equipment, all caught a lot of gold. They all lost gold. Let's see how much they lost in the scheme of things compared to what the gold was that we got from gold nugget sales. So let's get that chart up here right now. Let me get that. Okay, here is our results. I'm gonna get this down. Yeah, I do it the old-fashioned way. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm going to take you through this chart. This is the equipment throwdown results. The gold nugget sales, total gold from gold nugget sales that we got was 33.438. Okay, that's it. They gave me two scale readings. I took the average of the two. This is what it came out to. The California Mini High Banker recovered 32.380 grams, meaning it lost 1.05 grams or a loss of 3.1%. That's a super, super concentrated material with tons of gold in there. If I was getting that kind of gold on a claim and I knew it, I can guarantee you guys that I'm going to be panning my tailings. I'm not going to worry about running it back through here, and I would be doing it all night if I had to find all the gold. So this isn't typical. The test that we did was just a controlled test of a large volume of gold. The Geo High Banker recovered 32.87 grams, meaning it lost 0.56 grams, or a percentage of 1.6%. That's pretty good. That's quite a bit more recovery from the previous one, half a gram more. It's really good. The 4-stage gold cube recovered 32.685 grams, meaning it lost 0.753 grams of gold, or a loss rate of 2.25%. The clear winner as far as gold recovered on this test is the Geo High Banker at 32.87 grams with a loss ratio of 1.6%. So all three pieces of equipment are excellent pieces of equipment. They all catch a lot of gold, as you guys can see. And your results may vary if you decided to do your own test. I just want to qualify again by saying that these are my results, these are my opinions of the equipment. Your opinions may vary. So I leave it up to you guys to decide who the actual winner is. If you want to try the test, go for it. I think it'd be great. But for my test, the winner here for gold recovery was the Geo High Banker. That was it. Who's the winner as far as ease of operation and portability? The California Mini High Banker is, even though it lost a little more gold than the Geo High Banker did. Oops, there goes my chart. So the piece of equipment that I would use at home to recover a lot of fine gold other than my gold screw that I would use would be the 4-stage gold cube. And why? Because it's just easier to clean up at home because I have a greater water supply and I don't have to transport it anywhere. So that's what I came up with, guys. Hope that all makes sense. Clear winner is the Geo High Banker at 32.87 grams. And I hope you guys have found the video. Well, hey guys, so that was a good run. I enjoyed doing it, and it was a great run for me too. Great test for my skills as well. Definitely not used to running material saturated with well over an ounce of gold. Let me tell you, that's a real experience. So it takes a lot of time to pan that out because the gold sits on top of the black sand in the pan. And so what I found I had to do is I had to do little bits at a time, like a tablespoonful of material at a time to pan that out to get rid of those black sands. So it's quite different than what I'm used to running on the claim. And as you know, I ran it 3 times and I was becoming familiar with the different pieces of gold that I was seeing. I was seeing little pieces of wire gold and little round chunky pieces, and so it was kind of funny because I'd go, wait a minute, there's that little piece there that I saw 2 pans ago, so anyways, the equipment all did a great job, all 3 pieces. One thing I want to say is that the material that you run is going to make a big difference on the effectiveness of the gold recovery in each piece of equipment. As you know, I ran a prepackaged jug of material that was pretty clean. I mean, it's not like I run it to claim. Compared to what I normally run, this material was really clean even before it was screened. It was clean. So that can all affect the outcome of the gold recovery on this the equipment as well. So I just had some notes here. I wanted to the gold cube, it recovered quite a bit. If you were to run that material or any material through it and screen it down to, like, you know, even finer than 1/8 inch, so you ran 10 mesh through it, the finer you run through that gold cube, it's going to recover more gold. That's just the way that that thing is set up. If you did put the trommel on top of it, I don't know exactly how that trommel is set up that they have for field use. I see guys using it. It's got to be effective, or else they wouldn't be using it. So, I mean, I'd give it a shot if I had one to try, but I don't have the abundant water supply to do that. Maybe one of you guys do, and you could do a video on it. So, but the gold cube is a great piece of equipment. It has its application. There's just so many different variables that you encounter with doing a test like this, because you try to do a controlled test using the same material to test each piece of equipment, and therefore giving everybody the same level playing field. But one piece of equipment might operate better on a different type of material, and so there's a lot of different variables that you run into that I can't replicate here, you know, at home or in the field. And doesn't mean that because one lost more than the other that it's a bad piece of equipment. By all means, no, that's not true at all. They're all good pieces of equipment. They all have their applications. Applications are always changing depending upon where you guys are running. If you're running clean material, prepackaged material that's basically clean stuff, it's going to operate totally different than if I took you up to the claim and you ran that material that I have up there, dirty, organic-y, muddy material. Your equipment's going to run different. So all these are factors that I didn't replicate here. All we did was just replicate from a piece of equipment to equipment using the same material. I'd be here a long time if I was trying to replicate every single possible scenario. So so that's it. Those are my thoughts, and you know, if you guys have any other thoughts, I'd like to drop me a comment, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. I'm not the expert by any means, so these are just my opinions. So, you know, anything I say, don't take it as gospel. Okay, they're just my thoughts. My experience is using the different types of equipment that you've seen, and you know, just take it for what it's worth. And so pretty much that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for spending your Sunday afternoon, a few minutes of your time watching this. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope I haven't bored you with everything. Hope you found it informative, interesting. And I'll see you later on throughout the month in different videos. And speaking of that, I got the November giveaway, surprise giveaway going on now. And well, what's that, you might say? Well, I make videos and you guys, you comment on them, and then you get entered into the drawing at the end of the month. And I pick the video, no one knows anything. I don't even know until at the end of the month, and I go through and I pick a video. So you have to be subscribed to the channel. So if you leave a comment and it happens to be the video I've picked, and you're not going to be entered if you're not subscribed. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and you know, just be watching, be hanging out, watch the videos for a little bit, and leave your comments. So pretty much that's it. And I think I've got a 1/2 gram bag going out this month to some lucky person out there, and whoever you are, I don't know who's going to win, no idea. So anyways, guys, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed it. Chewy's done. He's here waiting to go eat. So catch you on the next one, guys.